Me again, part 4 of the engine build. We're going to have a really quick recap as to what we've done so far. I've assembled loads and loads of second-hand parts. So I bought a second-hand TS1 kit. So far, we've buggered the dishwasher. Jesus Christ, it stinks. Oh shit. Nice and clean now. And hot. Got in trouble for that. Once we painted the engine cases, ready to be sprayed. But I think it'll turn out alright. That's that all painted. We're going to have to wait for that to dry and see how it's come out. Maybe do some touching up or a second coat. We've prepped everything, we're ready to go. And in this one, we're going to show you how to fit all the bearings. But first things first, as you can see, I got a bit carried away when I was painting. And, well, what can I say? I was a bit slack, I should have masked it up, so I've now got to clean it all off. So, we'll time-lapse this, because I no doubt this will be really boring watching me clean the workbench. Right, let's get my gloves on, and let's get cleaning. Ta-da! Nice clean worktop. Now we can start doing stuff. Just before we start getting into talking about bearings and oil seals and bits and pieces, I'm just demasking all of the various bits and pieces. I'm quite pleased. That's come out really, really well. I know I sound surprised, but I shouldn't be really, should I? We've demasked everything. It's come out really, really well. And what we're going to be doing today is fitting all the bearings and some of the oil seals, building up the mag housing. Obviously, I've already done that one, just like Blue Peter, one I built earlier. Tools you're going to need to do this job: some heat of some description, a tool for putting in the oil seals, a tool for pushing the bearing in, some circlip pliers, a mallet, obviously the mag housing, the various bits and pieces. I always put that in the fridge or freezer for a good half an hour before I go to fit them. Makes it slide in to here a lot easier. And some real good high quality melting point grease. So the first thing we're going to do is put some heat into the mag housing, and we're going to use the blowtorch to do that, and then check it with the digital temperature gauge. Right, so we've got it up to a nice good hot temperature. First thing to fit is the oil seal. I'm using MB Race Tour 1's Vuitton style seals. They're probably the best you can get on the market. My favourite. So the spring wants to face the crank, so it'll go in that way. If you put a little bit of grease around the seal to start with, it should help it go in a lot easier. Now remember, this is very hot. There we go, it's gone in nicely. Next bit to go in is the spacer. Remember, this is for GP, and that's going to go, it's like an L shape, and the L shape bit's going to face the top. Then the bearing's going to go in next. Okay, so don't forget, bearing's just come out of the freezer. It's a 2-part bearing. Don't lose that bit because it's got to go on the crank. Oh, there you go. You can tell it's at the right temperature because it literally just dropped in. To go in is the oil seal again. Don't forget, put a bit of grease around it. And that should go in nicely. And if you've got one of these tools, it just helps it push it in even easier. Okay, so that should sit flush so that the circlip can go in. I'm just going to push it down a bit more. Okay, so I've just had to give it a little tap down, and now that's ready for the circlip to go in. Get your circuit pliers. There you go, and that literally should be able to whiz round. And if you're unsure, just give it a little tap with a drift or something to make sure it's right in that recess. So there you go, that's all fitted. So the next thing to do, we'll let it cool down a bit, and then we're going to pack that with grease, but not too much grease. Now it's cooled down a bit, what we can do is start packing the bearing with some grease. Now you ain't got to have too much. On the same token, you don't want too little. So it's just a case of a little bit of a time. There you go, because this is the only lubrication these bearings are going to have. Okay. And if you can see, that's probably about enough in there. Maybe a little bit more, just in that bit there. Okay, there we go. So that is your mag housing built. And just talking about fake bearings, rubbish oil seals and that sort of stuff. Right, one of the areas we want to talk about, bearings. I tend to only use SKF, FAG and maybe a couple of other brands, and I always buy them from a reputable dealer. All the scooter shops will sell you genuine bearings. If you go on eBay and places like that, you'll probably get genuine bearings off of dealers, but there's a lot of fake product out there. So word of warning, if you buy it off of the internet and it's not a reputable dealer, you don't know what you're going to get. How can you tell if it's genuine? Well, I don't know if you can see this, but marked on it, SKF, Germany, the part number, and then the SKF part number. So anyway, I know how to tell anyway. Next on the list is the good old rear hub, rear oil seal, and other bits and pieces. Now, this rear hub bearing, we open that, as you can see there's a little line in there, and this tiny O-ring oil seal goes in there to obviously stop that leaking, and then the oil seal itself goes in the bearing. Okay, then you fit it in there, which I'll show you how to do now. Okay, so rear wheel bearing, or hub bearing, whatever you want to call it. So this has been in the freezer. We need to put a little bit of heat into this, and then hopefully that'll drop in. So we'll get the old torch. Turn it on. Let's have a look, see what the temperature's saying. 61. look at it now. 85, that'll do. Right, now this is either going to burn my fingers. So traditionally you get a drift and tap it in like so, making sure that it was obviously square. In fact, there you go. You can tell it's right in because of the change of sound. Or we could have used the puller to gently pull it in, but as that goes in nicely like that, that'll do. Now I'll fit the oil seal and then that'll be that end complete. Here we go. So the main bearing goes into here as we said, and what we're going to do is same process as before, heat this up. The bearing's been in the freezer overnight, that one has, so it's probably really cold, and then hopefully it'll drop straight in. Check the old temperature. Oh, that's now in there, isn't it? 50, so we need to get higher. Let's check it now. 60. Let's get high. Oh. Let's have a look now. 70, nearly there. Right, that's probably got about right in it. Okay, so don't forget, bearing out of freezer. Maybe we should have got it out of the packaging, a bit sharpish. Scissors. There we go. Okay. Oh, it's bloody cold. It is bloody cold. Careful not to burn your hands. There you go, that's driven home. You can hear there's difference in sound when it got to the bottom where it needs to be. There we go. So as you can see, the bearing slits just under that lip because the gasket's got to go in before the retaining plate. And that, as they say, is that. So that's going to be it for this one. Thanks very, very much for watching. I think next time we're going to start on the arse end, maybe put the gearbox, lay shaft, all that sort of stuff in, and the end plate. But apart from that, that's it. I've not managed to get any other new bits yet. I'm still searching for a crank. Let's see what happens with that. But I think I've got just about everything else, maybe a clutch. We might need to sort something out to do with the clutch. Anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Please, please, please give it a thumbs up because it really helps with the channel. If you like what we're doing, subscribe and maybe drop some comments about what you're building. Anyway, thanks a lot. Cheers. Bye.